going to have a lecture on using the UV visible spectrophotometer. This is a Cadillac spectrophotometer. It is a Perkin-Elmer Lambda 35 spectrophotometer. This one is particularly useful for doing enzyme kinetics because it can measure the absorbance at a fixed wavelength over a period of time and store the data on the computer. So the first thing we're going to do is turn on the spectrophotometer, which we will do by pressing the on button, the green button back here. And you know that it's setting itself up because it's going to make a set of clicking sounds. Can you hear that? Okay, we are good. Next, we will turn on the computer. This is not a Cadillac computer. It's a Pentium 3, but it works. So we will just press the button. Where is the whole button? Here it is. Power. Okay. With this big old fat monitor. Okay. So now we need 2 passwords. All the passwords for the turning on the computer and for starting the software are here on the board for you to read. Okay. For turning on the computer, the password is guest, the word guest, and I'll tell you the password, but you're going to have to read it anyway because you'll never remember this. I never remember it, which is why I wrote it on the board. SRD 4625 star, that is the password. Okay. You don't need to write it down, it's on the board. Okay, here we go. Control-Alt-Delete. There we go. Okay. Username, guest. Okay. Now see, I've already forgotten it. There it is. SRD 4625 star. SRD 4625 star. Okay. All right. And once the computer is on, then we are going to open up the shortcut for Perkin-Elmer UV WinLab. It's a little prism on the screen. Okay, I'll double click on the prism. There's UV Viz on it. Can't make a mistake. Okay, we're going to get a little bit more noise out of this buckwheat. And there it is. Username. Okay, here we go. There it is. Analyst is the username with a capital A. Analyst. And the password is student109. Not capitalized. STUDENT 109. Okay. All right, we're initializing. Now, here's the bad news about this thing. It came from a pharmaceutical company, and this will be your first experience working with data systems from a pharmaceutical company. This is the bad news, is that every single thing you do has to be specially recorded. And every time you try to save something, you're going to have to put the password in again. Okay? The password analyst and student109, you have to keep putting that in every time you want to do things. All right? And it wants to save everything. So, all right, here's what we're going to do. The instrument is on, the computer's ready. So what we're going to do is we're going to click here on methods. There's a little plus sign next to the methods. We're going to click that plus sign. And then we'll find here example methods. All right, let's go here. This is the Lambda 253545, so we'll click on that folder. And we will get different example methods. So you can see there's different choices here. What we're interested in is enzyme activity. So what we're going to do is, and you'll see the type, under type it says time drive. All right, that's the kind of method that it's going to be. So we're going to click on example enzyme activity. And I got to double click quickly here. Okay, we're starting it up. Now, I'll show you here. You have a procedure, and your procedure tells you what you're supposed to do with this enzyme kinetics. Okay, and one of the things it tells you is which wavelength you want to work at. Okay, why do we need a particular wavelength? Well, because the product of the enzyme reaction absorbs at a particular wavelength, and that product is going to be para-nitroaniline, and the wavelength that you want to work at is 410 nanometers. Okay, so here we go, time drive settings. We're going to set it to 410 nanometers. Ordinate mode A for absorbance. Slit width 1 nanometer is fine. Total time, you want to change that to 60 seconds because that's plenty of time to measure initial rate. 60 seconds. 60 seconds. And the interval, it's fine if it's every 2 seconds. That is fine. Okay. So we'll change it to every 2 seconds. The trick is that if you save 10 million thousand data points, you're going to have to save all those and you have to work with those big files. It's kind of annoying. And this is fine. This is perfectly good for what you need to do. Okay. So now we are all set here. Okay. So this is all of our settings. And the next thing we're going to do is this right now, when it opened up on the data collection window. And so now we're going to go down to sample info. This is another little kind of finicky thing about this. Okay? You have to tell it how many samples you're going to have. Okay? You don't know how many samples you're going to have. So just pick a number. All right, let's say we're going to have 10 samples. 10 samples. Okay, so now we're going to click Format Sample Table. And let's see, no replicates.